Within the last 24 hours, the president has sent out multiple different warnings to different groups or even different countries, which is leading a lot of people to wonder what is really going on with the president. Now, some of these warnings are coming in as complete obliteration, imminent land strikes, and even complete hell to pay. So, again, what is going on with the president right now, and why is he throwing out all of these different threats and warnings again to these groups? Well, let's talk about some of the things that are going on right now, what the president is saying behind all this. Again, who is he actually talking about, as in these specific groups and these countries, and what's going on here, because it's not only these countries and potential military action that the president is talking about right now, but he's also talking about the chairman of the Federal Reserve, which more on that a little bit later. But again, more warnings of potentially threatening the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And again, just making us wonder, like, is the president ready to like blow a gasket here, or like what's really going on? There's some people that are very, very concerned because it just seems like he's kind of on edge at the moment here. So let's kind of go through these one by one here. And again, all of these coming in really within the last 24 hours or so. And again, really setting off a number of people really concerned about the president and kind of what's going on here, okay? Now, some of the speculation out there is that maybe the president is looking for a big win here. As we transition from 2025 into 2026, maybe the president is looking for a big win. Like, hey, I told you guys, I told the country that I would do what it takes to make sure that Americans are protected and that we're, holding strong, and the country is the strongest country in the world and things like that. So maybe some people are suggesting that he's just trying to do something here to get a big win under his belt and to say, see, I told you so, you mess with me, and it's not going to be pretty, right? So we'll have to see what happens over the coming days. But let me walk through some of these warnings one by one here and just kind of point out what the president has said. And maybe we can discuss this a little bit further, but kind of an interesting time that we're living through right now. All right, so, and again, this is all basically within the last 24 hours or so. And maybe, does some of this have anything to do with maybe the Ukrainian president visiting yesterday, the Israeli prime minister meeting today, again, both of which at Mar-a-Lago? Maybe some of this is just a little bit of a flex for these other countries and the other leaders of these countries saying, hey, look, we got big muscles here, and we're going to flex a little bit for you. So again, we'll have to see here. All right, so let's go through these one by one. Now, this is super interesting. This came out and it hit the wire today, but apparently this interview took place on Friday. But apparently the president said in this interview that they did some land strikes in Venezuela, which is a little bit interesting because, like, it seems that nobody really knows about this. So people are like, wait, what happened here? The president is talking about these land strikes on Venezuela, where apparently they hit some, some remote docks or something like this, where they were sending these boats out of. And everyone's kind of like, we don't know anything about this. We're not really sure what he's talking about, right? There was no evidence of this. Apparently, Venezuela didn't respond and say that there was confirmation of any land strikes, anything like that. What's super interesting about this, literally like 1 minute before I started this live stream, I literally got a news piece that came across and said that apparently the United States in December, so I didn't see an exact date on it, but apparently here in December, apparently the United States did conduct a drone strike on Venezuela. Okay, so again, apparently the president indicated that we hit them very hard. I don't really know if a drone strike would be considered hitting them very hard, but that's what the president said, okay? And again, he's been saying for a while now, imminent land strikes for Venezuela, okay? And again, we know that the military buildup within the Caribbean and that whole situation, then also, the striking of the boats out in the Caribbean as well as in the Eastern Pacific. We've been hearing a lot about that as well. In fact, they just struck another boat just like a couple hours ago. It came across as breaking news as well. So I think that's maybe like the 28th or something like that, boat as of right now. So anyway, that's that. Now, the president also indicated today obliteration of Iran. Okay, so a couple days ago, was it yesterday or the day before, Iran came out and they basically said that they are at complete war or total war with the United States and European countries, which is kind of a little bit interesting. And again, some people are still wondering as well, is that how that was truly supposed to be translated? That's been something I've been reading about as a lot, is that apparently the translation came through as, like total, complete war with the United States and Europe. But some people are questioning, is that really what the translation was supposed to say? So there's some questioning there behind that. But anyway, president also coming out and suggesting basically complete obliteration of Iran if they rebuild their missile and nuclear programs. Again, so remember, back in, was it June of this summer? Um, the president issued those strikes on the nuclear facilities within Iran, and basically the president coming back now suggesting, hey, if you rebuild these sites, or basically rebuild your missile program, it's basically complete obliteration at that point. So, again, interesting, right? A lot of potential military threats that are coming across here, and again, maybe that's not really sitting well with with a lot of people right now, because does anybody really want to engage in more military action? I don't know. It just seems like that may not be all that of a popular thing, but maybe it is. I don't know. But again, that's that. And then also today as well, the president indicating, and again, after that meeting with the leader of Israel, as he was meeting in Mar-a-Lago with the president today, indicating Hamas, right? So Israel has been at this war essentially with Hamas for the last, 2 years now or so, after the October 7th attack, and basically the president coming out today and suggesting if Hamas does not disarm soon, there will be complete hell to pay. So again, 3 specific groups here that he's basically directly warning and saying like, hey, get your act together, otherwise we're gonna crack down on you real bad here soon. And again, is it just talk? Is it just a little bit of a flex right now? Or is this actual real legitimate warnings and threats out of the president? I don't know. Again, we'll have to see, right? Which, by the way, have you heard of this saying out there? Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm just going to say it anyway because, again, I'm here to bring you information, right? But there's been this acronym going around for the majority of 2025. TACO, have you heard of this, right? TACO. It stands for Trump always chickens out. Have you heard of that, right? So again, I'm not here to take political sides. I'm just here to give you specific information that's out there. And again, I just want to throw that out. But again, is maybe this just another taco moment where the president is throwing down all these threats and these different warnings and suggesting, hey, you mess with us and we're going to F you up? Or is it something that's actually legitimate? We'll have to see here, right? So I guess only time will tell on this, but we also recognize that, yes, earlier this summer, back in June, that they actually did carry out those strikes on Iran. So we would have to anticipate that if they start to rebuild their nuclear or their missile program, that maybe the president will actually follow through with those threats and maybe actually order additional strikes on them. Again, we'll have to see, but what does a complete obliteration actually mean? I don't know. That sounds kind of scary, right? Kind of sounds like flattening to me, right? So I don't think that's something anybody wants to see, but again, we'll have to see what happens here over the coming days, weeks, and months here. And again, who knows? But right, remember this as well, the complete buildup of the military assets within the Caribbean as well. And again, is that maybe just a flex on the leadership within Venezuela, basically saying, hey, you see us here, right? You may want to step down. You may want to remove yourself. Let some other leadership come into Venezuela. Otherwise, we may have to do this forcefully. And again, trying to maybe kind of bluff their way through this, maybe, or maybe they really will take action. We will see about that. Now, I also want to talk about the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. I alluded to this earlier, but again, I want to talk about those other 3 pieces first really quickly. But let's talk about this as well, because I also find this to be very interesting because we haven't heard anything on this in a couple months here. And now the president is back again with renewed threats on the chairman of the Federal Reserve, again, Jerome Powell, which is interesting because, again, it really makes me wonder, is the president just really on edge right now, or why is he throwing all this down? He seems like he's maybe a little agitated and picking a fight. He's looking for a fight to pick, right? It just seems that way. And again, maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know, but it just kind of seems this way. Anyway, today, okay, the president indicated he may be filing a lawsuit against Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, for gross incompetence for this Federal Reserve building, apparently spending way too much money on this, okay? And again, also reiterating, doubling down on this threat to fire Jerome Powell, which legally, according to what everybody's saying, there's some back and forth on this, by the way. There's a lot of back and forth. Some people say, yeah, for sure, the president can fire him. And other people say, no, he actually can't touch the chairman of the Federal Reserve. He cannot remove that individual. Jerome would actually need to resign if he actually wanted to leave that post. But otherwise, his term is up in May of 2026. So realistically, just a few more months here and the guy's out of there anyway because his term is up, which, by the way, Jerome Powell was appointed by Trump many years ago during his first term. So kind of interesting. It all comes full circle, right? And we'll have to see how that plays out. But again, we haven't really heard any talk about the president coming out and suggesting these ideas of, hey, I'm going to fire the chairman of the Federal Reserve. We haven't heard that in a couple months. And now the president coming out again today suggesting maybe the firing of Jerome Powell along with this basically gross incompetence lawsuit against the chairman. So again, it just seems like the president is maybe a little bit on edge here, or maybe this is all just a big bluff, basically saying, hey, I'm just showing the strength of me and the country and my presidency and my administration, and we're going to play tough. If you want to play tough, we're going to play tough, right? So again, I'm not saying like anybody should challenge any of this. I don't think that'd be a very smart move. I'm just saying, but it's a little bit interesting to see this playing out at the moment here. So we'll have to see. But again, I find this to be a little bit interesting just because when we see this many pieces coming out all simultaneously, all of which within about a 24-hour period of time, it's like, that causes a lot of additional uncertainty across the country as well as across the globe that maybe we don't really want right now, is that more uncertainty, or maybe we do. I don't really know, right? So we'll have to see what happens, which, by the way, overnight, a quick little side note as well, overnight, Chinese warships and planes and stuff like that basically surrounded Taiwan again because they're not very happy with basically like a military package that was supplied by the United States to Taiwan. So again, China not being very happy right now with that whole situation. So a lot of activity, can you notice, right? So anyway, just want to come back for you really quickly, point all this out for you, and just say, hey, this is interesting. This is going to be very interesting. I think this is something that we certainly need to watch going forward. And again, I think this is all, at the end of the day, ultimately going to come back and impact the United States and all of us in somewhat of a big way. If anything were to come down, and if any action were to be taken, or if the president followed through with any of these warnings that he's been giving here, ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes back and impacts the United States in a pretty massive way. Because who has to fund all of this, right? Who has to pay for this? Well, we do, the people, the country, right? So anyway, I don't know. I saw a bunch of different things coming across, and I thought, this is actually kind of interesting. I don't know. I just feel like we need to keep an eye on this for sure, and just want to bring it to your attention really quickly. Anyway, I hope this helps you. I'm here for you any way that I possibly can be. I know it seems super weird, right? Here we are, last couple days of 2025. Drop a comment down below. What are you doing the last couple days of 2025? Are you doing anything fun, interesting, or just basically not really, and just kind of ride out the last couple days here of 2025 and then say, well, see you later 2025 and welcome 2026, which, by the way, I've been saying this for a very long time as well. 2026 is going to be very interesting. I think we need to recognize that with the midterms coming up, that is going to be the main catalyst that basically predicates everything that goes on for the entire year, okay? There's going to be a lot of big promises made. We'll have to see if those promises are kept. But I can tell you this much, 2026 is going to be a wild year. If we thought 2025 was busy and a lot of big things coming out and a lot of big announcements, 2026 is going to be that on steroids simply because of the midterm election being a massive catalyst, and they really need to do something about that, as in they really need to act on some of these promises. Otherwise, they're going to have a lot of really mad and irritated people by the end of the year, and they definitely don't want that going into an election cycle. So I'll keep you posted. Either way, like I've always said, I'll be here for you every single day, no matter what, in these videos, in these live streams, keeping you posted on information coming across the board, anything that is going to impact us directly, our money, our benefits, our finances, any programs that are out there we can possibly grab or take advantage of, or anything else coming across the wire. I'm going to keep you posted on all of it. Thank you so much for watching this. Really appreciate you. Thanks for joining me in a later evening live stream right now. But again, just wanted to just break all this down for you really quickly. Anyway, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing. Otherwise, please feel free to share the video. Otherwise, stay tuned. I'll catch you again tomorrow. More things happening. It's a busy, busy time. I've said this for a long time as well. Generally, September through about March or so is by far the busiest time of the year. Every single year, September through about March, very busy time, and that's where we're in right now, kind of smack in the middle of it. So, yeah, kind of anyway. All right, anyway, please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe if you have not done so. Please share the video. Otherwise, I'll catch you again later in the next one tomorrow. All right, anyway, if you're still joining right now, I always like to give this warning at the end. You may want to click off now because I'm going to unplug the microphone, and when I do, my phone starts talking. It's loud, and it might sound like a bunch of chipmunks that are all hopped up on caffeine or something. Anyway, please enjoy your night. Have a nice night. Thanks again for watching this, and I'll catch you again a little bit later. All right, we'll see you for now. Okay, here we go. I'm going to plug this and hit some buttons. All right, we'll see you later. Or not.